Alright, hey guys, just going to be a quick little video here. I've just been doing wrenching today. Already today I fixed relic. Nothing much exciting about that. You see it wasn't going in the last one. I didn't show it. But the spur was wobbling hard up and down and going in and out of the mesh. Even if I put the mesh in too tight, then it would come around and bind up too much. And I thought I bent the shaft somehow, which I've never done. So it turns out I was wrong. It was an exploded bearing. And the two bearings at the very top of the transmission, the 5x4x10s, they were brand new bearings. I won't say the brand name, just because I probably just got a bad bearing because the other one's fine. Change it out, relic's just fine. So the next thing I'm going to accomplish today, I've been working on the big Bronco, the axial Bronco with the massive 5.5-inch tire or whatever they are. They're huge. No measuring tape on me. Excuse me. So it was over geared, and it is the smallest pinion I could fit on the. It's a SCX10 Gen 1, but it has a Gen 2 transmission in it, and the motor is pushed in as far as it can go. Now, this is going to be the hardest part of everything to show you, but the gap right there is none. That motor is tight to the body as it can get. So what I'm experimenting today, so I don't know if it's going to be true or not, but I'm thinking. Oh, sorry, I'm having trouble catching my breath. I need to go get a water. If I change out the housings, because I got a Gen 1 housing right there, and I stole a bearing out of it to put in a relic, so it's just basically a parts transmission for now. But, get those out of the way. So that's what I'm going to do. I got a 14 tooth on there now. I got a 12 tooth in the bag. Just an axial 12 tooth. They didn't have the Robinson Racing, the one I wanted. I usually buy the hardened steel Robinson Racing, but when it comes to 32 pitch, it's not that big of a deal if you're running plastic. If you're running metal spur gear, it's a bigger difference, but with the plastic spur, you can run just the steel instead of it being a hardened steel. It'll last a long time. So just give me a couple minutes. I'm going to do the swap and I'll show you the result. So I got most of it done. I just got bored of just sitting here in silence, so I figured I'd start talking to you guys. No, I didn't go get that glass of water. So I got the hardened gears out of the other transmission, because this one was just my backup transmission. It just sat in the backpack and it had plastic gears in it, so I really didn't want to run it, ever. But this is where we're at now. So I'm just putting everything back together. And this truck, I've mentioned it before about how I like flat spotted shafts on the top of the transmission, but this one's a pin style. They're a little bit of a pain in the bugger. Trying to get this one pin back in. Trusty pair of pliers and a steady hand. If your fingers are too fat. Seeing as though I got girly fingers, I imagine the rest of you are probably in the same boat. Oh yeah, spur gear. Stuff's falling down. So yeah, I already fixed relic, so I figured I'd do some babbling while we wait. Next on the list after this guy is the 6x6. Again, it's probably not going to be a video because it's pretty much not worth it. Hold on. This is a totally different setup. Let me think. That's going on like that. This is going there. That go. This is a totally different spur. I am not sure about this working. Hold on. Ooh, there's one right in front of my face. Sitting on the bench. The other bench. You get everything? Looking and looking. Okay, this one should work. Not going there. Yeah. So it looks like I'm changing to a metal spur today. That should be just fine. For a little while anyways. So yeah, these are the Robinson Racing Steelies. I just call them Steelies. They're just I don't know if it's hardened steel, but it's a steel 32 pitch. Matches the same stock tooth, whatever it is. See if I can show you guys that here in a second. Ah. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but yeah, it's the same spur. Neither one of them have anything written out that. Oh, 56 tooth? That says 56. I'm sure that's the same size, but I don't see any numbers on it. So I always buy the stock replacement. Feeling good. So the nice thing about this setup as well, there's just a little bit of shaft that sticks out there, so I just take an old bearing, throw that on there, almost takes up all the space, grab a couple of washers or whatever you got kicking around. There's a couple. Throw a couple there on there until the threads are taken away. Then you just get a wheel nut on there. So when you're slipperless, you don't have to go crazy on the snugging. All you have to do is make sure it's not going to move. That's all. So you're not, because there's no slipper you're tightening, you're just holding the spur in place over top of that little pin. Yeah, so it's just snugged up enough to say it's done. Motor. Okay, still moves. Geez, I don't even know if I'm going to get the 12 on there. So look at my, like that, and that's as far out as it'll go. Look how close that shaft is to the spur gear, the motor shaft to the spur gear. I don't even know if I'm going to get a 12 on there. Oh, it even comes with 2 grubs. Nice. They're starting to learn. People have slippery fingers. Or if you do this on the trail and you drop a grub screw, good luck. Yeah, there's room for mesh. I could probably get that 14 back on there. So yeah, there's a lot more room to move on an SCX10 1 transmission than there is on the 2. Problem that I'm running into, well, I think I might be running into, there is no room between that pinion and motor. And then I'm about to run out of mesh, or room for it to rotate on there. So I have to have like the most minimal of play going on here. Or just to make sure that there is play, because I don't want to damage anything. So that spins nicely there. So what I'm going to do while I have this there, so that makes that pinion, or that motor bushing really hard to oil. So I'm going to oil it now. Yeah, so the next thing on the fix-it list is the 6x6, I guess, because winter's here. Snow's not crazy to us quite yet. But darkness is. It's dark early now this time of year for us. Okay, everything feels good. Let me get it back in the truck now. So Loctite onto the MIP. Turn this guy around. I got the circle out. See if I can do this. Install using the driver in the grub. Yeah, it's like he's done this before, ladies and gentlemen. A couple 100 times maybe. Another grub. Going into the axial. That will do it. See if I can score again. That's what she said. Oh, the driver came out. It's okay. Oh. Nope, I have to go to MIP on both ends. The axials are good drive shafts, like there's nothing wrong with them. It's just too thick on the ends and it won't go by. There's no cutout, or the cutout isn't big enough in the bottom of the plate. I can't show you now because it's too dark in there, I think. So this is the grub screw that came with that pinion. Will it go into an MIP, do you ask? Yes, it does. So if you guys do run an MIP, anyone new, and most guys already know this, this is your transmission side and this is your axle side. So the pitch would go like that, so that nothing builds up in there. So if you put it like this, crap has a tendency to build up in there. So always run them. Make sure you run them that way. That should do it. Okay, we're getting close. Motor wires. Let's try red to red and black to black this time, because I don't remember what I had hooked up before. I got a 3-cell right here. Now I got to try and remember what remote runs this truck. I think it's the DX Spectrum something or other, that guy. It says Betty, right chassis. Please run smooth and silent. you ran into this before. Okay. So now what the issue is, that noise. I remember why I had a plastic spur on here now. I might have to go back. It's already shiny. See where, right where the spur gear is above the MIP? Now the rim of the MIP is all getting shiny. Oh, I can't see. Where is it? See how the edge of the MIP is getting all shiny? That's where it's rubbing. So, it's actually not very loud until you get to low end, and it's kind of noisy. Let's do something stupid, shall we? This is one of those don't try this at home things. So, truck's all jacked up, controller in my left hand, Dremel in my right. So the plan is, as this thing rotates around, I'm going to take a little bit of skin off that there drive shaft. It's becoming less and less of a good idea. If I can, I think that's a good angle right there. Let's try that. This is so sketchy. Have I mentioned the not recommended for children part? I think I should mention that again now. Problem solved. Okay, it worked. It wasn't the smartest thing to do, I'll admit that. Alright, check it out. Now you can see that shiny part, right? Ah, she's free and clear now. So, in conclusion, yes, the SCX10 Gen 1 transmission does have larger clearance for a motor, like it has more movement, more freedom, I guess, as you will, for a motor. That is the Axle 35 turn. I know not all cans are perfectly the same, but I imagine you get mostly the same result from anything else. That spur gear, that pinion gear just fits on there because she's a real fat one because it's got the 2 mil. If it was a 1.5 or 1/16, that body wouldn't be as thick at the back and it wouldn't be as big of an issue, but it just fits. And yeah, I've now got this thing geared down a little bit, which is going to be able to crawl a lot better, so Bronco's fixed. Okay, so that's going to be it. The two things you can take away from this video is one, the the XCX10 Gen 1 transmission does take all the same gears, so you can swap over. Just find yourself a housing and you can switch over, and you have more freedom of movement with the motor, so you can try different pinions. And yeah, I know you can Dremel out the plate, this guy, so you can get more movement out of your motor, but if the motor's hitting the body, it doesn't matter, like the body of the transmission. So it doesn't matter how big those slots are. I can still see in to this motor. I can even get a smaller pinion on there if I wanted to. But the 12 should be okay for now. If I need to, I'll go down to an 11 or something else. Okay, and the second thing you can take away from this is that the MIPs don't fit perfectly on there. They fit good on there. It's just it was rubbing onto the edge of the spur. I'm sure if I left it over time, it would eventually wear out. But apparently I'm willing to do some sketchy shit when I need to. I wouldn't recommend doing the Dremel thing unless you got experience at it. That was my first time trying to rime off a drive shaft. I usually just got that thing for molding up plastic stuff. But yeah, that's going to be about it. I know it's probably a short video. Hopefully you guys maybe learned a little bit of something and I gave you a little bit of advice, or maybe it's a little bit entertaining, but that's going to be it for now. Maybe a trail run soon. Thanks for watching.